Assalamu alaikum. I'm Arfa Flak and welcome to my channel Fried and Tasted. All the recipes here are tried and tested. Today I'll be making whole wheat bread loaf. Now the question is, why should we make something at home which we can easily find at any store? But if you look at the ingredients of the store-bought bread, you will get your answer. It has so many chemicals in it that we have not even heard of. And if you are a big fan of white bread, then besides all these chemicals, you are also consuming a huge amount of all-purpose flour. This all-purpose flour is nothing but just the starchy part of the grain, which is called endosperm. It has no nutritional value at all in it, and it only accumulates in our body as fat. The bread loaf that I'll be making today has 1:3 ratio of all-purpose flour to whole wheat flour. The only reason I'm using this amount of all-purpose flour is because of the high amount of gluten in it. Because of this gluten, our dough will get that stretchiness in it, and the loaf will not turn out to be very dense, and it will not have that the densey wheatish flavor in it, which I personally don't like. But if you want, you can go ahead and use the complete whole wheat for your bread. The recipe that I'll be following today is from Jenny Can Cook. I have made some modifications, especially in the method of the preparation, but everything is written in the description below, and I have made sure I have all the ingredients with me. So let's get started. I'll roughly go through the ingredients now. I have all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour mixed in it, some sugar, 1 egg. You can replace this egg with 2 tablespoons of milk powder also, your choice. Little bit of lukewarm water, olive oil or butter, salt, some lukewarm milk, and finally a sachet of active dry yeast. It's very important that you have a nice good quality of yeast, because this is the only thing that's going to rise your bread. I have taken lukewarm water. The temperature is somewhere around 120 Fahrenheit. It's very important that you take the ideal temperature for proofing the yeast. It should not be very hot or very cold. If you dip your finger, you should be able to bear it easily. Now I have added sugar in it. In it, I'm going to add my yeast. And then I'll mix it nicely. I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes until it becomes frothy. This process is called proofing of yeast. I'll just cover it with a towel and keep it in a warm place. Now I'm going to unveil the curtain. Yes, it's good. Do you see this froth here? It means that our yeast has proofed up very nicely. And in case you don't see this, it means that the yeast was not a good quality one, and in no way your bread is going to rise. So this is very important. I've taken oil in my bowl. To it I'm going to add 1 egg. You can replace it with milk powder. Whisk it nicely. To it I'm going to add the frothy yeast. And then whisk it again. Now I'm going to add in it warm milk. I'm going to add it gradually. For now, I'm adding a little more than half, and we will see later if we need more. Now I'm going to add flour in it. I have already added a little bit salt, and I'm going to sift it in my mixture. For now, I will take only half of it. And now with the help of dough attachment, I'm going to knead it nicely. You can also use your whisk till this point of time. This is how the batter looks like. Now I'm going to add rest of the flour too. This can also be done with hands. Make sure to scrape the sides of the bowl very nicely. Hands clean, counter clean. I'm going to dust some flour on the counter. And now comes the fun part. I'm going to transfer this dough on the counter. And I will start kneading. Stretch out the dough and then fold it together. We will continue doing this again and again. Initially the dough will be sticky. Make sure keep scraping the counter with a dough scraper or knife. I have not added any extra flour in my dough, and the dough has already started to become very manageable. I have kneaded the dough for 10 to 15 minutes now. It's no more sticky, and if I make an indentation inside it, it will retain its shape. It means we are good to go. And now I will take a bowl and I'll put this dough inside it, and I will cover it with a lid. I have to run some errands and I will be back in an hour or two, and then we will see what is the condition of the dough. Hands clean, counter clean. I am checking it after 2 hours, but I think 1 hour should be good enough. Just look at this. I'm going to knead it very lightly again for just a minute. I'm trying to give it the loaf shape. I have greased the pan, and now I'm going to check the length of the dough and the pan. I think I'll roll it a little bit more so that its length is exactly as that of the pan. And then I'll lift it up and put it in the pan, and gently I'm going to spread it evenly in the loaf pan. I'm going to let it rise again, this time for an hour. After 50 minutes, I'm going to preheat my oven. I'll set the temperature at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. It's been an hour now, and just look at this. It has risen up very nicely, and the grey shade that you see on the top, all those are the air pockets. I'm going to give this dough milk wash,
and I'm doing it very lightly because I don't want to burst it. Now I will sprinkle some white and black sesame seeds on top of it. It's totally optional. Now I'm going to bake this for 30 minutes. I have just taken it out of the oven and my house smells like a bakery. It's nice and crusty from the top. And now with the help of an offset spatula or a knife, I'm going to loosen it from the pan. Since we greased it before, it won't stick in the pan anyway. I'm going to transfer it on the cooling rack. And the base is light golden in color. Initially the crust will be a little hard. Now with the help of bread knife, I'm going to slice one edge of it. We should ideally wait for at least 2 to 3 hours until the loaf is cooled down nicely before slicing it. But I just wanted to share it with everyone. It's very soft from inside because of all the air pockets that we can see. It's been 3 hours now and the loaf has cooled down nicely. I prefer slicing the loaf upside down